Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We are here to do a little review. I did pick up the Fenty Stick Foundation. I've been trying it out. I've been wearing it for several days now, and I have some thoughts. So that is what we are here to do today. But first, if you're new, hello, welcome. My name is Kelly, and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking, I love makeup, I love talking about makeup. So if you like to chat about makeup too, I would love to have you subscribe. But without further ado, let's start talking about some makeup. Okay, so first of all, the actual name of the Fenty Stick Foundation is the Ease Drop Stick Blur and Smooth Tint Stick Foundation. That's a mouthful. I did pick up the shade 3. I've heard people in the beauty space that I am friends with raving about this stick foundation. Samantha March, Angie, Heather Austin, several of my friends have been talking about this stick foundation, and you know, it's been a while. It has been a good while since I have tried a stick foundation, so I wanted to get my hands on it. I do have dry skin. If you're new, my skin is very dry. I live in hot and humid Houston, Texas, but even though I live in a humid climate, my skin is still dry. So stick foundations are not technically usually my best friend, right? But I keep hearing good things about this, and you know what? I feel like stick foundations are really great when you're traveling, so I decided I wanted to pick this up and I wanted to try it out. And I have been doing so. If you caught my Get Ready With Me with Heather Austin, I will have it linked down below. We were just in New Orleans for Mardi Gras with our families. This was the only foundation that I brought, which was gutsy because I had not actually tried it yet. I recently had picked it up. I hadn't purchased it, but I feel like a stick foundation is just easier to travel with, right? So I was like, okay, cool, I'll bring this. I didn't even know if it was the right shade match. So I used it there. I've been using it here at home. I am using it here today. So I thought that we would go ahead, do an in-depth review, and I'll even give you a little wear test. I will let you know throughout the day how it's looking, and my husband and I are going out on a date night tonight. So I will pop in some coverage also, or some clips of how the coverage is lasting and wearing. So I do want to go ahead and insert some footage of my skin beforehand, of me applying it and how it looks after. And while I'm sharing that footage with you, I will read the claims of the Fenty Beauty Stick Foundation from the Sephora website. It is $36. It says that this is long-wearing, hydrating, light coverage and medium coverage are both underneath the highlights on Sephora website. It is a cream formula. So when you read about the product, it says that it is a light coverage long wear tint stick with a creamy smooth texture that instantly blurs while melting into skin for a natural finish. That's typically my jam. I love light to medium coverage. I love a natural finish. I don't typically reach for creams, but in this instance, I wanted something that was going to be easy to travel with, like a stick foundation, so I'm not against it. And you know, long wear, what can go wrong there? When you purchase this, you are getting 9 grams of product. It says 0.32. I don't know if that's supposed to be ounces. When you look on the bottom of the cap and you are looking at how much product you're getting, you are getting 0.32 ounces or 9 grams. And if you think about a traditional bottle foundation, you are normally getting 1 ounce. So that's something that actually stood out to me right away, is you're paying $36, which I feel like could be the traditional price of a foundation, a 1 ounce foundation, depending on the actual foundation that you're purchasing. And when you look at it and when I twist it up, you really are not getting a lot of product. So I feel like this is something that would probably be easy for you to go through, you know, especially if this is going to be your everyday foundation, something that you're going to be wearing often. There really is not a lot of product here. You're not even getting half an ounce. So if you're thinking about like what you're paying for and the amount you're getting for the price, it may not be the best bang for your buck. I did decide to purchase this because I wasn't looking for it to be my everyday foundation. I wasn't looking for it to be something that I was reaching for all the time. I really did want this to be a travel foundation for me. My husband and I love to travel. We did recently start an Instagram page, which is always listed down below, the Friends of Travel. And I feel like something like this that's in a plastic container that is a stick foundation, it's not going to, you know, break, spill everywhere. I mean, it could, but it's less likely to than a traditional foundation in a container. So that was my reasoning for wanting to try this. Now, I do want to say, after trying this is a review, not a first impression. After trying this, I will say that it definitely is more of a lighter coverage for me. You can build it up in areas, but when I look at my skin, I can still see my beauty marks here. I can see some discoloration. I can see my freckles underneath. I am a natural redhead, so I do have freckles on my skin, and I can definitely see my freckles. Now, in my application, you hopefully were able to see, I did put one layer on, but then I did go over my cheeks and my forehead and try to build it up a little bit. I didn't try to build it up a ton. I did try to build it up a little bit, but I can still see my skin underneath. And I do like that. I like a natural finish. I would not call this a dewy finish. Although you can see my skin is dewy, I am very good at prepping my skin, and I'm gonna have all the other products that I'm wearing listed down below. But I feel like I am good at prepping my skin, and so that is where the glow is coming from. When I apply this onto my face, I don't necessarily feel like this is a dewy foundation. I don't feel like it's going to make you glowy. It definitely does give you that natural finish. When I do foundation reviews, when I'm testing things out, I also do prep my skin and prime the way that I normally would. So right now, I do have my normal primer, my Glow Recipe Niacinamide Dewdrops. I do have the Tatcha Silk Canvas. I did put a little bit of the Auric Glow Lust, like where I would put highlighter. So I mean, I do have all of those things to accentuate, but I would say this more so gives me a light coverage. It does give me a natural finish. I don't really have any dry patches, so it's not necessarily clinging to anything. But one thing I will say is I don't necessarily think that I would consider this hydrating. Even though I do prep my skin really well, even though I do have glowy products on my skin and I feel like it looks beautiful, it's not heavy. I don't feel this foundation like sitting on top of my skin, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it's hydrating. My skin doesn't feel extra hydrated like it would with maybe some other hydrating foundations or a skin tint. I feel like my go-to, like when I'm comparing foundations, my holy grail foundation is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, which is an arm and a leg. It's super expensive, but I feel like it's everything that I want in a foundation. It's more of the medium coverage, but it feels hydrating on the skin, and it gives me a nice natural finish, and it looks like my skin, but better. And I feel like with this, it's not that my skin feels tight, but it doesn't quite feel refreshed. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel extra hydrated. It doesn't feel like the foundation is giving me a burst of hydration. Now, if you have more of like normal skin or oily skin and you don't necessarily need a burst of hydration in your foundation, then that might be great for you. Like I said, I don't feel like it's accentuating any dryness, but I don't necessarily know that if I'm like, oh man, I really want a hydrating foundation, I'm gonna reach for this one. And I feel like that's common with stick foundations. That's kind of one of my qualms about why I don't like applying cream products or a stick foundation, is that it's not necessarily the best for dry skin because it can tend to accentuate those dry patches and it doesn't give you that burst of hydration. However, I do think that this does look beautiful on my skin. When I was wearing it in New Orleans, it did last. We were in New Orleans, we were in the swamp, okay? It did last on my skin. I did not find that it broke up anywhere. And you can see now, hopefully you were able to see in my close-up, I mean, I applied cream and powders on my face. I went in with the NARS cream bronzer and I used a brush to kind of put that on my skin. Then I went in with powder bronzer, powder blush, powder highlight. I sprayed with MAC Fix Plus. I put actual powder on my face, and I don't feel like this moved at all. The foundation did not break up. I don't have any patchiness. I don't have anything wearing away. And so for that, I am thankful that even though this is a cream product, it works well with other creams and it works well with powders, and I didn't find that any of my makeup was disrupted. So I feel like that's very helpful to know, because a lot of times when I think of cream products like this, because it is a cream, I feel like there's a little bit more movement to it. It's a little bit more emollient, but I didn't have any issues with that when I was applying the rest of my makeup. I did start applying my makeup after I put my son to bed around 12:30, so it was probably 12:45-ish by the time I started applying my makeup. It is 1:45 now, so you can see that I've been wearing it for about an hour. This is how it looks. This is, I feel like it looks great. I feel like it's comfortable. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, as I am taking clips throughout the evening, I'm going to go ahead and insert them here. Okay, we're gonna do a little car check-in. It's 6 o'clock. We are headed out on a date.
Not a date.
It's a date.
We're going to nourish our body.
It's a date.
Food.
It's a date. So I have been wearing my foundation for about 5 hours now. This is natural sunlight. I'm not seeing anything breaking up. Everything looks like it's still intact. Nothing's wearing weird. So far so good. We're gonna go eat and hang out, and I will do a check-in before bed. Okay, we're up close and personal because it is 9:30 at night. So I just wanted to show you there's like a little bit of dryness around my nostrils. I have some creasing where like my smile lines are, but overall, I mean, this is what my makeup looks like. After, what, 8 hours of wear, I still feel like it looks pretty good. And I'm overall impressed. Okay, so let's talk about my thoughts on this product. Overall, I do enjoy this foundation. I do like it. I feel like it's comfortable on the skin. I like the look that it gives me, but I don't think this is necessarily going to be like a go-to everyday foundation for me. First of all, you don't get a lot of product. You don't get a lot of bang for your buck. I also don't feel like it's necessarily the most hydrating, which is okay. It's not uncomfortable on the skin. I don't dislike it, but it does give me more of a lighter coverage. This would be one that I'm definitely going to take traveling, which is what I purchased it for. I purchased it for travel. It's easy to travel with. It does feel comfortable on the skin, but I feel like since it is a lighter coverage, it would be great for light makeup days, but I can also wear it if I'm trying to glam up, you know, go out to dinner, things like that. I don't find that it's accentuating any dry patches, but I don't really have any dry patches to accentuate at the moment. However, if I was going like back up north to Michigan in the middle of winter where I'm from, I don't know that this would be the foundation that I would necessarily want, just because it's not giving me a boost of hydration, or I would really need to put like an oil underneath my face or something like that. But I do like this. I like this for a travel foundation. I feel like it's comfortable on my skin. I feel like it looks beautiful, and I'm definitely going to be wearing it. I think that this is probably the best stick foundation that I've tried, because I have found in the past stick foundations just generally aren't my favorite because of my dry skin, but I do really enjoy this stick foundation. So if you are a dry skinned girly and you are looking for something to travel with, or you want to try a stick foundation, or you are looking for a new foundation to add to your collection, I would recommend it. I think it's a good foundation. I do like it. I think it looks beautiful, and I'm definitely going to be using it. I'm happy to have it in my collection, but I don't necessarily think that it's going to like take the place of my Giorgio Armani. You know what I mean? So if you have tried this foundation out, please let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. I would love to know. Definitely, I mean, check out my friends Samantha, Angie, and Heather. They all have this foundation. They talked about it on their channels. So if you have a different skin type, you know, definitely go see what they're saying also. But I like it, y'all. I'm giving it a thumbs up. I think that it's good. I just do want you to be aware that you are getting less than half of an ounce. Traditionally, with foundation, you do get a full ounce of foundation, and it's $36. So if you're looking for like a new everyday foundation, like to wear on a day-to-day basis, I really don't think you're going to get the best bang for your buck with this one, so you may want to look elsewhere. Also, can y'all hear my daughter? She's singing and dancing in the background. She loves to be in here with me while I'm filming, so she has headphones on and she's singing on my bed over here. But that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do give this a thumbs up if you thought it was helpful. Let me know in the comments down below if you've tried this out, or if you are looking to try this one out. I would love to know. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed before you go. That way I can see you in the next one. Bye.